Awesome. Okay, we're recording. Thank you guys for hopping on. As always, I always want to honor you for your time. You could be doing a million other things right now, but you're tuning in to Coco Chat. And what that tells me is you're here to win. And I'm super appreciative to have you guys. I see you flexing, Lauren. I like it. But really tonight, you guys, I wanted to dive in on a couple of things. Something Chris shared on the Mindset Monday just yesterday. He was talking about having heart, and I was like in the background cooking with all my noise and craziness in my house, and I was like, yes, that is it. You know, quite transparently, I've seen a lot of people come in and I'm like, oh yeah, that person's gonna crush it. They have a gigantic network, they're super successful, they have all this influence, blah blah blah. And what I've discovered is they lacked vision and they lacked heart, right? And so it never really went anywhere. But I will tell you over and over and over, what we've seen happen here is maybe there's somebody who has a history of failed network marketing experience, or maybe there's somebody who's never even done network marketing before. They come in here with heart and they absolutely crush it. And so I just wanted to start off this call wanting you to understand that if you have vision for this, if you have your heart in this, you're going to win. Because people who have heart, they naturally have grit. It gives you the ability to push through. It helps you to get back up, even if somebody says no, or you had a difficult day. It helps you to stand back up and try again. You know, when you have heart, you have push through. You have your solution focused. You know, what I've seen is people will come in again. I'm like, oh, that person's going to absolutely crush it, blah, blah, blah. And then the first negative thing they come across and they're just like, over it, done. I'm like, whoa, what happened there? You know, but it's the people who have that heart. It's the people who have the vision of what they want to create here, even if it's very small in the beginning. If your heart is centered and focused on what you want to see happen here, you've got it. You've got the push through to make it happen. You've got the grit. Exactly, Bobby Joe. I've always felt like grit is something you can't totally teach. And I've kind of struggled with that because I feel like sometimes grit comes with life experience. Sometimes it's getting, you know, kicked around a few times, getting back up, understanding that you have the ability to push through for something. But what I've realized is if you have heart, that's where the grit comes in. So you guys, something that we talk about a lot on welcome calls, a part of that process is I ask people, you know, what would you like to see happen here? Sometimes they'll give me a really like safe answer, right? And maybe it's a really small thing, and that's okay. But the next question is, okay, what would you really like to see happen here? And a lot of times the answer is, you know, well, I don't want to have a second job, or I would like to be able to save for a vacation, or I want to contribute to my home. I don't want to have to go back to a regular job. I mean, some of these are pretty hefty things, right? And the next part of that is, what will it feel like when you achieve it, right? I spend a lot of time when I'm sharing my story. I share, you know, super openly with you guys. And I share that in the beginning, I wasn't super motivated by like, oh, I want this dream house or this dream thing. For me, my motivation was, I just don't want my current reality. Like, I just don't want financial stress and struggle and the anxiety of that. I just want to breathe again. I want the ability to say yes to my kids more often. I want to have more life experiences. You know, here we are like young and able, except financially we were not able. So those were things that I really wanted to see change. And so I was very in tune with what will that feel like when we get there. I didn't really know, but I started spending a lot of time daydreaming about it, you know, washing my hair in the shower, shaving my legs. And I'm thinking, gosh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to say yes to the kids and take them to do X, Y, Z. I can't wait to say yes to those things I've been saying no to for so long. And I started getting really obsessed with what that's going to feel like. And that's the thing, you guys, that has given me the long-term vision here. So that when things did arise, the ground didn't shake underneath me. If it did, it was a quick little jolt and I was fine, right? And so it allowed me to stay on track, to not waver, to be really consistent, to be really bold, because I knew exactly what I needed to see happen for my family, and I knew exactly what I wanted to help others do as well. So I want you to have the understanding that, you know, comparison is never going to help push you forward. If you're looking around at other people and you're saying, well, that person is better at social media, or that person takes better selfies, or no, none of that. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that person, we've had people come in on the team and they might have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. Okay. And the first negative thing that happens, they're gone. So if you have the grit, you have the push through, you have the heart to make something of this, you're more capable than that person. Okay. I want you to understand that. It's really powerful. And every little win, I want you to put your shoulders back a little bit more. I want you to feel proud of yourself. It's really important, a really important part of the process to keep you going. But you guys, I thought it would be really amazing to have somebody come here, share their story with you guys. I'm like old and dusty up in this business at this point. I need somebody fresh to share their story. You guys have heard mine like 1,000,003 times. So one of my good friends, her name is Ashley. We went to middle school together, which is hilarious. Like, oh, I gotta love social media. I absolutely love it. But we've stayed connected throughout the years. She started off as a customer here. She'll tell you about her story and it's phenomenal. But what I want to share with you is this girl has heart. Okay. She doesn't have a track record of success in previous companies. She doesn't have all of that stuff, but she absolutely 1000% has so much heart. And so what happened in her second full month, she blew through star, bronze, and silver all in the same month. Like, what in the world? What's going on here, girl? She has belief and she has heart. So I want her to share her story and then any nuggets and things that come to heart and mind. So Ashley, if you're able to hop on, I will pass it to you, girl.
I am able to come on. Hello, everybody. Okay, so like Melissa shared, we met a long time ago in middle school. We won't age ourselves, but I feel like it was forever ago. But like she said, so I have some previous network marketing experience, 2 of them very unsuccessful. I think in my last company, I maybe had, I honestly, maybe 3 customers. I don't even know. So to say that I had a little bit of PTSD in network marketing is like a complete understatement. I was like severe PTSD. I watched Melissa for, I want to say about a year before I decided that this was something that I knew I could do and I knew that I wanted and I knew that it was attainable. A little bit of my background also, I'm a mom of 4, so I am busy. My days are hectic. I'm running around. I have twins. My twins are now like crawling and like running around everywhere. I'm just like, you guys can't stay in one place. So I am busy. But what I see happening here is simplicity, and I craved simplicity. Like I needed simple. I didn't have time to go to host parties. I didn't have time to go and spend time with a lot of people doing one-on-one meetings. I didn't have time for that. So I needed something simple. I needed a simple platform to share my story, and I needed it to be attainable. And that is what we found here. So my first month here, I think on my welcome call, Melissa, again, she asked me, what do you want to happen here? What do you see happening here? And I told her, well, the first goal would be to make about $500 a month because we're a single income family right now. We have 4 kids now, and it's not realistic for me to go back to a traditional 9-to-5 job. I can't afford daycare. We can't afford that. I don't make enough money outside of the home to even be able to afford daycare for 4 kids. So that was my first and foremost goal. Second goal was to prove my husband wrong, because I'm sure that a lot of people here can agree with me that if they've had, unsuccessful network marketing before, it's, kind of like, oh, okay, well, that kind of sucked, but let's do it again, and then, oh, that one kind of sucked. Well, that really stinks. So I wanted to make this work to prove my husband wrong. And not that he didn't support me, he fully supported me, but it's that feeling that you get when like, I did it, we can do this. I'm doing it. So that's a little bit of my background. So my first month here, I really focused on the customers. I was on the coffee chats every morning. I did the Power 30s. I did the Cocoa chats. I did all of it. I listened. I was coachable. I took every single thing that Melissa taught me and I wrote it down on paper and I applied it every day. I was consistent. I posted mostly every day. Sometimes I didn't have anything to say. And a little tidbit that Melissa taught me was to like go on Pinterest and find some cute little quote that resonated with me, put a picture up of myself with that little quote, and it works because it gets people coming to your page. It gets conversations started. And that's really what we want to focus on here. So making those connections with people is the most important thing. If you can make a connection with someone, it's not going to feel like a sale. I can promise you that. My main focus is to create connections, to figure out people's pain points, to help them with their journey, because that's what we're all here for, right, guys? I mean, that's what we all signed up for, whether it's financial freedom to help someone on your team, or whether it's, you know, freedom to help a customer with whatever their pain point is. So I think that that was my main focus as far as focusing on my customers. I loved on my customers. I was there for them. I let them know that I'm here if they have any questions. And then it just started to flourish. I mean, Melissa told me that it would happen and I didn't think that it would. Never in a million years did I think that my first 2 months of business would look like it does now. And then like she said, what would that feel like? So that feeling for me was everything. I probably happy cried all day long when I saw my first paycheck, like my first real month's paycheck. You know, it just, that feeling is just something that it's kind of unexplainable unless it happens to you. So other than that, I wrote down a little note just so I can not lose my train of thought. Oh, the product that we have here, guys, is just magic. It's magic in a cup, whether you want to call it magic in a cup, unicorn sauce, whatever you want to call it, it is magic. We literally have magic in our hands to help people with what they need. So if you can keep that in the back of your pocket, in the back of your mind, I think that that will help people go a long way in their journey, because if you're constantly thinking about how you can serve other people and how you're going to be able to help someone else, then you're going to want to keep sharing that. It's never going to feel like a sale to you, and it's never going to feel like, oh, I have to talk to this person about this, or, oh, I have to connect with that person. It's never going to feel like that, because you're going to want to connect with that person and you're going to want to talk to them and say, hey, how are you feeling? How is this working out for you? Is there anything I can help you with? You know, those are the main things that I think that a lot of people need to focus on when it comes to, you know, getting your customers and keeping your customers and having that customer retention. Because if somebody is feeling loved by you, and if somebody feels like you actually care and you're being genuine, then they're not going to feel like they're just another number to you. They're really going to feel like you care for them and you have their best interest at heart. That's all I really had on the customer side. And then for the business, you know, I would just say, like, as far as launching your business, just be consistent. Like I said before, I'm on the coffee chats, and even though I blew through those 3 ranks in my first month, I'm still doing the things. I'm still on the coffee chats. I haven't, you know, taken a step back because I'm like, oh, well, I reached my goal and I surpassed it a little bit. No, I'm still doing the things, still being consistent. And I think if you are consistent and staying with it and just remembering why you started this, that can take you a long way in this business. You really do. So I think that may be all I have, because I think my children are probably crying. I put my 8-year-old on baby duty, so my husband wasn't home yet, so I'm like, we're rolling with this. I gotta go.
Girl, I love it so much. Everything that you shared was powerful, like so powerful. One thing that Ashley's done really well, you guys, is she just jumped in. Like, she just was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm making the decision. I remember one of our early conversations, she's like, it has to be different this time. Like, it can't be like it was last time. And you guys, she just got bold from day one. Can you share a little bit about the boldness, authenticity part? And then I'll let you run if you need to run.
Yeah, no, I mean, just honestly, like, being bold. I'm not afraid to share my story. You know, people on my Facebook page and stuff like that, they know that I've been in previous companies before. So, you know, a lot of my hesitation that came with this before, I was telling Melissa, you know, I'm like, oh, great. Like, you know, here I am. This chick is on my third company now. Now I'm on to this, you know, new thing. But, you know, just being bold, it comes from within because I am so passionate about this. I started this coffee when I was, I think, like 5 months pregnant. I was taking half a dose to keep in the caffeine content because I was pregnant with twins and I had zero energy. Like my energy was depleted. I could take 3 naps during the day and I could still feel exhausted. So I started taking this, and then after, I think 3 weeks after I gave birth, I was back down to my pre-baby weight. So I was like, there's probably something having to do with the coffee. And then I reached out to Melissa. So I just, you know, my boldness really comes from within. I'm not afraid to share because I believe in it and I'm passionate about this. And if you're passionate about something, why not share it? Right? I mean, if you're going to go, you know, tell another friend, you know, who's going to ask you anyways, why not share it publicly? Why not get into this to get something out of it for you too, to make you feel good, to make you feel like you're in it to help people, you're getting financial freedom. I don't, you know, that's just where I'm at. And then like Melissa said, is just, I didn't have any other choice. It was either this or to go back to a night job where I was working overnights, because that's, like I said, 9 to 5 wasn't an option for me. I was looking at, honestly, like I will be transparent with you guys, I was looking at getting a server job at Chili's to try and bring in some extra money because that is how bad we needed extra money. My husband works like 45 hours a week and it still wasn't enough. 50 hours a week, it still wasn't enough. So this wasn't an option for me to fail. And I think that that really just kind of lit a fire underneath me. Just like Melissa said, I too was in the shower, shaving my legs, washing my hair, like, yes, this, I can see it, I can feel it, and I am going to do this. So if you just keep that fire going underneath you, I think that that will also take you a long way. And then like Melissa said too before, you know, start off the month how your month ends. You know, a lot of times our months end and we're like, we have the fire and we want to do this and we want to do that because we're trying to get to that next rank. If you start off the month that way, it's going to take you so much further into that next month, whether you're planting seeds or whether you're making those goals further or earlier than you wanted to. It's only going to benefit you. So if I can give any kind of piece of advice, it's to be consistent, to join in on our calls, because sometimes those nuggets that we get from those coffee chats in the morning, they're like gold. They really are. I mean, people pay money to get these kinds of trainings in other places, and we get it for free more than 1 time, 2 times a week. I mean, that's insane. So we have so much to offer, so much support, so much that's really just in the palm of your hands, and it's just there for the taking. All you got to do is put in the work and do it.
Woo, girl. Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm like sharing on a call like this. Like mic drop. Amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, just another thing that I wanted to share with you is behind the scenes, what that has looked like between Ashley and I, as she leaned in, she asked me a lot of questions. She's like, hey, what should I say with this? Or what can I do with that? You know, something that's really powerful when you start a business like this is to remove any sense of blame. Okay. And I'm sharing this from a place of like authenticity. When I was in my former company, I'd be like, well, my upline didn't reach out to me, right? I wasn't taking responsibility for my own business. And something that, you know, changed here for myself, but also for Ashley, is she is always in communication. She is not afraid to ask questions. She leans in, like she shared, she's on all of the calls, but she's in constant communication with me, asking for any help, always very vulnerable and honest. And that's been really powerful too. So thank you so much, Ash. I really appreciate you. Amazing, amazing job. Guys, so we want to also go over some social media posting tips. And so Gabrielle reached out to me today and she's like, hey, you know, do you have somebody sharing tonight? Because I have some tips I'd really like to share. I'm like, heck yes. She's like the queen of social media. So guys, Gabrielle has done an incredible job with attraction marketing. She's an incredible leader here. She's super humble. She shares away tons and tons of tips with everybody. She has a heart of gold, and she has helped a lot of people create success, mostly on social media. So she has some really great nuggets for us. So Gabrielle, if you're able to unmute, I'm going to pass it your way.
Hey guys, Ashley, thank you for all of that. That was so inspiring and awesome. And it's always so great to hear it from someone who's just starting out again. Cause like Melissa said, I mean, I haven't been here, quite as long as Melissa, but you kind of like forget a little bit about those early feelings. So thank you for sharing all that. I was watching the comments and people just like, yes, yes, yes. So that was really awesome. Thank you. And yeah, I contacted Melissa. I was like, hey, I've got some ideas for posts. I know that first posts can be scary. Maybe you don't know exactly what you're doing. You haven't handled anything like this on social media before. Maybe it's your first network marketing company. Maybe you're unclear how to share or what to say, or say it in a way that doesn't feel salesy or awkward or weird. So I kind of came up with a few post ideas, very bare bones kind of skeletons, if you will, for a way to craft posts. And I shared them in Elevation Empire today. So they are there already. You can go find them and go take a peek at them. But they're just ideas of a post that we've seen work really well. There are a few key components to them. Number one is brevity. If you can be a little bit short-winded and more concise, personally for me, right, we're busy, we scroll social media for fun. A lot of the times when you see massive paragraphs, you're like, oh geez, I don't have time for that. I sit down and grab a cup of coffee and sit down and read it, right? But if you see like a cute short little post with a photo of you, that's the next key point. Keep it short, a picture of you. I feel like we say that a lot on the welcome calls, and sometimes that gets lost. It's like a passing moment in the conversation that maybe you forget. But in all realness, in all like transparency, honesty, a photo of you is just going to reach more people. And ultimately that's our goal, right? Is to just reach more people. Facebook likes your face, your friends like your face. We're selling happy coffee, so a smile, goes a long way with that too. So a photograph of you smiling is very, very, very important. And then the last piece of the equation is details. Right. And I mean, details of what the products have done for you, whether that's the product or the opportunity, what that's done for you. It's so much more impactful. And I feel like I say this a lot, but what Chris said the other day, like, it's not until you've heard something 8 million times that it finally sinks in. But, it's so true. So sharing the details of how this product has impacted you, instead of saying, I lost some weight. How many pounds did you lose? Are you fitting in, like, could you fit in your wedding dress? I mean, wow, like imagine that, right? You're a woman, you're like, I lost weight and I put on my wedding dress and it fit. That right there, women will be like, oh my gosh, what are you using, right? So little details like that, not just I have more energy, but I have more energy. I just ran for the first time in 3 months. I had 3 people message me that the other day about this new Max, by the way. I went for a run and I don't run. So like those are things that we share, things that people can really relate to, or you're getting off the couch, or instead of saying, I have appetite suppression, saying like, I walked away from the fridge and closed the door and didn't even think about opening up the pantry. Those are the moments and those are the things where people find themselves. So I kind of put together a couple posts in here to talk about, or to kind of be like, not memory joggers, but just little fill in the blanks, if you will, that you can use. Of course, make them your own. But those are the key components, really. It is just keeping it short. Bullet points work really, really great. A photo of yourself goes a million miles further than a picture of just a mug or a meme that you find. Meme's cute, put those in stories. They work great in stories. But on your feed, you want it to be you. And then sharing details of what the products have done, or details about what the business has done. One of the ideas in there was sharing maybe something that you purchased. It doesn't have to be a car. It doesn't have to be a house. It doesn't have to be a vacation. It could be like, I paid the gas bill. Or, I just did my dip nails, right? Like I just bought a nail dip kit on Amazon, like thanks, happy coffee, right? It could be something as big or as little as it is for you, because we say this a lot too, and it is so honestly true. There is no story too small. especially when it comes to talking about the products and what they've done for you. Like, I didn't have a massive weight loss testimony. I wasn't lifted out of, a very dark place. I wasn't dealing with chronic pain, but they make me a better mom, a better wife. And I just have a lot more energy to keep up and do the things that I want to do every day. You know how many people want to hear that right now? How many people are just like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I need something, I'm not motivated. Motivation and happiness and having extra energy to keep up and do the things in your daily life, like that is a very, 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 very powerful, and not just powerful, but extremely relatable story. So those are the kind of things that we want to share. The last part is the curiosity. We say that until we're blue in the face. I don't even think I said happy coffee for like 2 weeks. It was like a magical change to my day, or something I changed in my cup, or mama unicorn magic. I don't know. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. But the ultimate goal is something that people can't just Google. And we say happy coffee a lot because it really is. It's happy coffee and it's great. But nowadays, if you hit up Google with happy coffee, you're going to find Elevosity. So get a little creative with it. Really, really, really try to figure out ways to inspire that curiosity, because we want to have a conversation. We want to share our story. We want to share what the products have done for us. And that is really it when it comes to social media. Melissa, if you don't mind, there was one other little thing that I've been sharing recently that kind of dawned on me out of nowhere, oddly, a year later. Coffee chats, you guys. Coffee chats in your cup of happy. And Melissa, I think you've heard me say this. I look at those now as my piggy bank of stories. Like, I hear stories on there and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Put that in the back pocket for when I meet someone who has XYZ thing going on. We are storytellers. And I'm actually not a great storyteller. My husband's incredible at it. So this is something that I've really had to practice at. He's the kind of guy that will captivate an audience for hours. And I'm like very short and sweet and to the point. But collecting these stories from coffee chats and collecting these stories from your cup of happy is really, really, really powerful, because then when you meet someone who has XYZ going on, say for instance, if I meet like, an older gentleman who's dealing with, some sort of issue, obviously like I'm not that person, right? And I can't speak to that. But if I hear Bob, I see you waving your hand. But maybe I'm going to tell Bob's story and talk about my friend Bob, and share what's going on with him and like what this business is and like how he's just such a joy and we just love him, like those are the kind of things. If I don't have that experience, if I've collected a story somewhere along the way that I can share, it's so much more relatable than just saying it gives you more energy, it suppresses your appetite, it makes you happier, right? Like, tell a story. And where we collect those stories are coffee chats and your cup of happy. So if your belief isn't 100% there, if you haven't had a transformative, massive experience yet, I encourage you to get on the chats and encourage you to get in your cup of happy and read, and commit some of those to memory. Maybe save them, screenshot them, whatever you need to do. But learning stories is really what's going to take your ability to talk to people and articulate really what these products do in a way that resonates on like a much, much, much deeper level. And really, that's all I got.
Woo! Amazing! Thank you so much. You have
You're
such
welcome.
a perfect way of like painting that picture of what a post can actually look like, instead of it just being those basic kind of like facts. You're really great at pulling out how is it impacting your everyday life? Like, what is it allowing you to do differently? I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So good. Bob and I had a conversation, I don't know, like a month and a half ago, maybe ish, 2 months ago. And he's like, I don't know what to write for, social media. And he's like, I'm a boring dude. I don't have little kids to play with. I'm like, well, you've got your grandkids. And he's like, yeah, but I don't have them every day. And I'm like, well, you know what? You turn your everyday life of whatever your reality is into content. Okay. And yes, Bob is not boring. We freaking love Bob, but he thought he was boring. Okay. And I'm like, no, you're not. Turn your everyday life into content. Like, just turn it into content. Guys, he is on fire. He is so good now. He had this complete shift of like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn my everyday life into content. And he weaves the happy coffee into his everyday life. He's mowing lawns for his neighbor, for himself. He's cooking dinner. He's doing plumbing. I mean, he is like all over the place doing things with amazing energy. But he has found ways to share the coffee. And he's not just saying, gives me energy, like my coffee, blah, blah, blah. No, he's like showing the world, dude, I just mowed all this lawn and that lawn, and it's amazing. So point being, it doesn't matter, like Gabby said, you know, what the actual story is, you just have to share your story. And yes, Bob had an incredible post about the trees and the story behind them, and powerful. It's that, you guys, people feel as though they know you when you let them in a little bit more. And stuff like that really goes a long way. They find their me too in your story. I just want to touch on a couple of things and we'll wrap it up, guys. Aim for 20 dose customers, okay? And I want to encourage you to start talking about SmartShip. I don't know if everybody's talking about SmartShip or if you're not talking about SmartShip, but you know what? In the beginning, I was trying to find my words and how do I talk about SmartShip, because I had network marketing PTSD. I'm like, I don't know how they're going to feel about this. You know what? We have an incredible system here, okay? When somebody signs up for SmartShip, they get like 2 warning emails. It's not like some surprise that's pulled out of their account. They get 2 warning emails. I love the integrity of our company, okay? We're getting that out there first, just so you know that, so you don't have to have any hesitation sharing it. My verbiage on sharing SmartShip is, okay, I've taken them through the script. They're in your cup of happy. I follow up and I ask them, is this something you'd like to get started on? And they're like, yes. Awesome. I send over my link. Now, I say, would you like some help placing your order? And most of the time they're like, no, I got it. And I say, you know, what most people order and what we take is called the dose. It gives you the most impactful experience. It's absolutely incredible. The combo is dynamic. If you'd like to save 10%, go ahead and click SmartShip. You know, it's easy to get out of if you decide to, but you're going to save basically the cost of your shipping. So I would highly encourage that. That's as simple as it is, guys. But I have that a part of my conversation. You know, this is what SmartShip is. Click it if you'd like. You're going to basically save the cost of your shipping. I highly encourage it. It's just light. We're encouraging the dose. We're encouraging SmartShip, guys, because at the end of the day, how you grow a residual income is those reorder rates, right? Getting new customers. Not all of them are going to stick, so don't beat yourself up about it, but some of them are going to stick. And so we want to encourage that. Guys, with the Max product, this is a reorder worthy product, okay? Like, people are feeling impactful things from them. I mean, people are running. People are doing all kinds of crazy things they weren't doing before. I see all kinds of people deep cleaning their houses right now. And so this is a product they're not going to want to be without. So have that conversation with SmartShip. It's really important for you to just insert that into the conversation, offer to help them place their order, at which point you're just merely walking them through step by step, but you're allowing them to place the order. Let's see. The other thing that I wanted to share is loving on your customers. What that looks like is just checking in with them. Hey girl, how are you? What changes are you noticing? I love that. That's Gabby's verbiage, okay? Because what you do when you are asking them, what changes are you noticing? You're pointing them to realize that they are noticing changes, right? If you just say like, how are you liking it? They could be just having a bad day, okay? And they're like, I don't know if I'm feeling anything, right? But when you say, what changes are you noticing? They might say, you know what? I've actually had more energy, or I'm not needing that nap, or I'm reaching for less junk food, right? But checking in with them, like, you know, one time a week, maybe every few days in the beginning. In the beginning, I'm checking in every few days. How are you doing? You know, what changes are you noticing? Oh, and then celebrate the heck out of that, okay? You just celebrate it. If they're having a great experience, they're excited about it, ask them to share it in your cup of happy so we can celebrate it on an even bigger level, okay? They feel as though they're doing you a favor when they do that. And they are, because your other people will see it in there too. The other thing, guys, is when we were told to aim for 20 dose customers, I did not feel like it was possible. Straight up, that seemed like an enormous amount of customers to me. I didn't have a successful customer-based business before. So when I was told that, I'm like, okay, I am borrowing your belief. I am trusting you in this process, and I'm going to go for it, because why the heck not? A part of that is social media, right? We talk a lot about social media because, thank God for it, because of what everybody's going through, right? Can't have a lot of face-to-face right now. It's a little awkward with the mask on anyways. But also there's conversations that you can be having behind the scenes. So when I launched my business, it wasn't only just a launch on social media and then just like wait for everyone to come to me. It was also, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to tell those people who I know they like coffee, or I know that they need the benefits of this coffee, or I know they need the benefits of this business. I'm just going to have the conversation. It's not, overload of information. It's literally, hey, this made me think of you because of XYZ. You need to check this out. And you point them back into your cup of happy to see what's going on there. Okay. It's never overwhelming people. And then it's offering to send them a sample. We did a lot of that, especially in the beginning, and I still do it. If I see people in my network, and there's a woman I've been connected to a long time, she's talking about how stressed out she is homeschooling her kids, and that she's really struggling. Her kids are fighting all the time and she's stressed out and she's hating life right now. So I had two options. I could have scrolled past it, right? Or I could just reach out and say, hey, you know what? I have something that helps me so much with patience with the kids. It helps me to be a better mom. Can I send you a sample? That's it. And she's very successful in a different company. And so it was a little intimidating to reach out to her. She could have said no. But at the end of the day, it's okay, right? I have a vision here. I know what we're doing here. It's not a big deal. We carry on. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, just making sure that you're sharing your story with the tips that Gabby gave to us. You're turning everyday life into content, right? Allowing people to feel as though they know, like, and trust you more. You are, gathering those stories like she shared, but you're also having conversations behind the scenes with that genuine feeling, that boldness, just like Ashley shared as well. So, and then checking in with them and loving on them. So guys, that's really just it. Aim for 20 customers, aim to get them on SmartShip, right? We know that this product gets better and better and better over time. So we want them to continue to get those results, right? Somebody doesn't have it the first 30 days. Who knows what's going on with their body? They may need more time. Encourage the SmartShip. If they really don't want to be a part of it, it's not a huge hassle to get out of it, but make sure you are putting that into your conversation and just letting them know if they select it, they're basically saving the cost of shipping. Okay. That's it. I am going to open it up for questions for a few minutes if anyone has anything that they'd like to touch on. So go for it. Hi, Bob. Go for it.
Hi there, Anya. Thanks for all the kind words. This is my chance to hang with a bunch of young women, young successful women, so that's why I'm here. Gabby is the product queen here, and I have she actually sent me a message just before Coffee Chat, a woman that I've been sampling. She's been getting itchy. Her face, she's not getting rashy, but she's getting itchy. She stopped it for a day. She took the coffee again this morning, and she had the same feeling again. So, Gabs, anybody have similar symptoms like that or reaction?
I've never heard that. I would always, ask if there's any known allergies. Could also be circulation. It could be a bunch of stuff, but first thought would just be allergies. That would probably be my first guess. Just run it by your doctor, see if there's anything in here you shouldn't be taking. But you had someone that got itchy and went away. Yeah, I mean, it could also be the niacin. Like, I don't want to get into all like the stuff behind it, but like itchy with nothing else. Not like, I'm not super concerned about it. But if she doesn't have any known allergies, I wouldn't necessarily be that worried about it.
Okay, I hadn't thought of the niacin. I'll talk to her about that. But yeah, I want the allergy route, and she's in your cups. I send her announcements and have her roll through all the ingredients in it. So okay, I'll talk the niacin route. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, girl.
I wanted to add, Melissa, real fast. I had a couple like things written down that I totally forgot to mention. For some people first getting started with sharing on social media, again, I know it's scary, and I feel like sometimes I see this, they think that they're doing like a coffee post, but it ends up being kind of something else. So one thing that I want to encourage people to do is be very clear. That's why all those post ideas have a very strong verbiage of, I changed something, there's something new going on. Because sometimes people share this whole story and then they add like one little sentence at the end, like, I'm thankful for this, mom hack or something. And it's sometimes I feel like it's not obvious enough. But you think like, oh, I just did this big, breakout post and here I go launching. And then sometimes you don't get the reaction that, you anticipate and hope for from them. And sometimes, your audience, your people, they just need a little bit more obviousness that you've changed something. So I just want to encourage people to, and that's again with the boldness and the posture, you know, make sure it's clear. And if you don't know, if it doesn't feel right, if you don't know if it's a good post or anything like that, run it by your sponsor. Like, everyone's happy to help. You know, we can look over and say, oh, maybe if you added this one little line, it might help, because sometimes a little sentence makes a difference. And then the last thing I wanted to say too about the social media is, we hear this sometimes, you know, I didn't get anyone from that post. It was a total flop. And then they don't do anything again. We talk about it a lot too, and you got to be consistent saying the word consistency, right? But it really, really, really is about consistency. The number one main theme that we hear on coffee chats, and y'all can agree to this, I'm sure, when someone says, when Nancy always asks, hey, what brought you here? Why did you decide to come do this with us? Or what's your experience been with the coffee? I swear to you, 99% of the time, the first sentence out of their mouth is, well, I saw so-and-so talking about this coffee forever before I said XYZ, before I reached out to them. It is always about the consistency. So if you did one post and no one contacted you about it, number one, doesn't mean that people didn't see it. Number two, doesn't mean that they didn't take it in. And number three, doesn't mean that they're not going to reach out to you in the future. So it really is about maintaining that consistency and showing people that you really do love this stuff, that you really are excited about it, and that's not going away. So I just wanted to share those last two little bits that I had written down and forgot to mention.
Oh my gosh, so good. Guys, we have to be so over the top obvious where it's going right over their heads. And the truth is people are just scrolling quickly, right? So if you're not obvious enough, like, hey, I'm obsessed with this new happy coffee or this new change I had to my life, they're not going to get it. Like, exactly what you said. If it's interweaved in that, they're not even going to understand. They're going to be like, happy for you. That's it. Don't even realize what changed. So yes, thank you so much for sharing that. So good. But I think that's it, you guys. So if there are no more questions, we love you guys. We're grateful for you guys. You are our dream team, beyond the wildest dream team. But reach out for any help that you need. Reach out to your sponsor for any help that you need. Plug in. I love what Ashley said earlier. Have that month end mindset now. Okay. It's not too late to get 20 customers, even if you don't even have one yet. If you decide to just turn that on, turn that boldness on, step into your purpose and power with this, just run and ask for help along the way. But all right, guys, we love you, and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your families. All right, guys.
Thanks.
I'll put the recording up as
Thanks,
soon as
Melissa. Bye now.
Thanks,
Bye,
ladies.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Gabby, for sharing. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
It's really cool.